Dyslexic genius here. What I'm going to talk about are governor and governor bearings. This happened on a Sonora, but I want to show you a few things, and this is why you check everything out. On governors, like everything else, I tell you to polish out these pinions right here at both ends. But if you my angel can look, there's a burr on the end of this pinion right there. And I wondered why when I cleaned everything up and I put it into the bearing, it didn't want to go. And I did a lot.
That's that black dot?
That's that little black dot. It's a burr. Bigger than that burr.
Okay.
So I took it apart and I put it in, and you always want to check the bearings, make sure that these run smoothly. And I said, why is that running tight? So I looked around and I thought, there was a little burr here. You know, I've talked about you drill a hole and it comes up with the metal. I said, okay. So I took my chamfering tool and I chamfered it and I went back in and it still wouldn't work. So I looked closer and I found a burr on the inside of this hole. So what you have to do to fix this is you have to have, like, usually numbered drill bits, and that's 1 through 60. So I went over my numbered drill bits and I started testing, and I found a drill bit that would slip into the hole and it would spin and it was semi-tight. I said, okay. And then I used my vernier calipers to measure this, and I measured this. I said, okay, that's good. So what I did was I came in here and I gently hand drilled it out because of the burr on the inside.
Well, where was that burr earlier, and how come it didn't affect the play of the machine?
Because the machine was running, and they were using the 2 springs to run the machine over the last 120 years, so it just kind of wore in. But once I took everything apart and cleaned it and checked it, I'm going, this isn't smooth. This should be real smooth when they run. So that's what you have to do. You have to look closely on this, and you always want to polish out all these bearings. And you want to make sure that the flywheel on all governors, when you put it together after cleaning, that spins freely just like that. If it doesn't just wind up real fast, there might be a burr on the inside, or there might be something here. So what I usually do is I polish these out with 600. But this has, because when the machine starts, and then you have the weights, this goes back like that. This makes it start up quicker and run smoother on you. But that's just little things about this. That's also why I polish out the bearings, because on a Sonora, we have the eccentric bearing. The hole's not in the center. And then you adjust it for play on both sides, and somebody jammed the screw in tight and then tried to manhandle it through its way to adjusting on the governor, and that's not how you do that. But these are just little things that happen on phonographs that you have to look at on governors, and that's my tip for the day.